Okay. Our first question will come from Cynthia Horner.
I'm keeping my camera off. Hi, this is Cynthia Horner from Right On Digital, and my question is for any of the cast members that would like to weigh in on it. One of the reasons why the title character was able to be rescued is because there were a couple of clues that were left. Can any of you speak to the fact that these days everyone has to be very vigilant and do whatever it takes to save themselves if they're in a position of harm?
Absolutely. I guess I can start. Um, yeah, I feel like it's just incredibly important to stay cognizant of these things. And this is something that the project, even reminded me of. So I was so grateful for that because these are things I hadn't been thinking about beforehand. But just any way you can stay on your phone, alert people of where you are. She specifically dropped her glasses, dropped her bank card, I believe, and just things like that that you can send messages to people if they find something that they'll be able to track you. Yeah, those are just going to be helpful all around. So it reminded me, and I hope that like this message reminds a lot of people that there are things that can be done if you're in a dangerous situation.
Okay. Right, thank you. Would anyone else like to add on? Because we just ended Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And people are more interested in learning what can they do to help themselves and their loved ones.
I think for me as a mom, I have air tags in almost everything my daughter has. I've taught her how to be aware of her surroundings, situational awareness. I have also taught her how to stay calm in situations. What I loved about this story is that for the most part, Carlisha stayed calm and she was thinking. And I think if you are, obviously you'll be upset, disturbed, in a fragile state, but I always teach my daughter, number one, stay calm. And I think that is what led her, or she was able to think her way through the situation. And obviously she was a smart girl to begin with, but she was a thinker. And I think that through her calm demeanor, she was able to figure out, how do I save myself? And despite, everything that was going on, she succeeded. So it was just wonderful to watch and know that this young woman was able to navigate the situation to get her back alive.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next question will come from Chris Gunther.
Hey guys, thank you for taking this brief time out with us. Greatly appreciated. Vaughn, it's always great to hear from you, my man. So my question is for Kenya. Kenya, we all know that there is nothing like a mother's love, but we also understand that mothers will literally do whatever it takes to save their child. What was it about this role that you really had to dig deep within yourself to portray this character?
I mean, you kind of said it all. Nice to meet you. Obviously I have a child. I have a daughter specifically who is 5. And being a woman myself, I have had to learn survival skills in a lot of different areas, not only just physical, but emotionally as well, because of my upbringing. I think for me, the message from the script was very clear. We need to do our part to bring awareness to the fact that there's just such a disparity in news coverage and the reporting of missing minority victims. For me to be able to dig deep into this role, I just drew on the fact that I am a mother and my child means everything to me. There is nothing more important in the world to me than my child. And knowing that I was already equipped with what I needed, you know what I mean? Just being who I am and having a child and having a daughter. And for me, I just tapped into that love. What I didn't want to draw on my daughter too much because that's scary for me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It's very scary for me to even, you know, use her as kind of an emotional example or something like that. But I just felt like I need to bring this child, my child, home at all costs, and I will stop at nothing until she's found.
Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you. Thank you for your question.
Our next question comes from Black Truth. Black Truth, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
No problem.
How are you guys doing over there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
How
we can
are
hear
you?
you.
I want to congratulate you guys on the movie. Can you kind of spoke on digging deep into the role? It's kind of a departure of what people have kind of branded you as. Did you guys, could be for everyone. Did you guys kind of like take some baggage from this role? It's a dark movie. Did you find yourself afterwards doing before kind of looking at it and being in a dark place just from getting into character from this movie?
I'll let Sam answer that. I think that
Yeah, I
that's a
think
great
that's something.
question for Sam.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, at first, when I first got the breakdown, I was kind of hesitant, just being a father as well too, having a daughter just like Kenya. My daughter's 3 years old, and I didn't know what to think of it, to be honest. Like I wasn't sure, but then after I got the audition sides, and I kind of saw like a little bit of similarities, just like from his background of like growing up in a Christian faith background, having a daughter as well too. So, I just found it very interesting on like how could someone end up going to that route. So I just did some digging and some preparation where I felt like I had to really isolate myself, and sometimes it was hard. It was hard to
Mm.
dig in, and also doing some documentary work and like seeing
No,
the
I'm
stuff he's
just here
done
early.
before. It
It's
was
always
um
fine.
it was
Apologies.
shocking.
You're welcome.
I think
Um,
her microphone is not muted.
oh, okay, no problem. But yeah, even after the film, honestly, it took me about like a week just to like shake it out, But luckily, I have such a great support system around me, like my wife, my family, friends. So it was easy. Sorry, were you guys able to catch that?
No, that it was muted, but they
Oh,
muted it. But can you repeat that, please?
yeah. Pretty much like even after like the shooting, it was hard. It was hard to like even to get back to like reality. But like, thank God that I have like important people around me, like my wife, my family, and friends. They were able to like, you know, put me back to reality. So yeah, it was
I mean,
definitely interesting.
you did a good job, and it was kind of cause for concern just watching it. So just to
Yeah.
see
No, I
you,
hear
you
you.
know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, wow, this
A-
dude.
Absolutely. It's funny because like when I first got to set, my first thing was to like go to Riele. Well, this is what my wife said. She's like, make sure you tell her that you have kids and you're not this person. So I found it,
Right.
I that was like a goal of mine, just to let her know, like, hey, even though we're about to go in this crazy journey, I'm definitely not like this in person. I have kids, I have a family, and we were able to trust each other, and I'm glad we did. We ended up, joking around and set and stuff, but we understood the seriousness of this film, and the story that we wanted to tell. And but having that trust from Riele, it was an honor for me. So
Well, you did a good job, brother, and I congratulate the whole staff, on spreading the message on this. It's based on a real life story, and
absolutely.
it's needed. As an artist, I think you guys dug deep and to convey the message. And I want to congratulate you guys on your accomplishment and, completing the movie. So blessings.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
All right. Our next question comes from Melissa Stewart.
Hello, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Melissa, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So my question really is kind of for all of you guys, but more specifically you, Carlisha. I'm wondering, when you were preparing for this role, was there a level of
Riele.
I'm sorry, I couldn't call her.
No
I'm sorry.
worries.
She was so good. I can see why you would call her Carlisha.
Riele. Thank you,
Yes.
Kate. Riele, when you were preparing for this, was there a level of desperation that you had to dig into for this? Because I can only imagine, if something like this was to happen, that a woman would have to be absolutely in dire straits just to make sure that she survived this. And I want to make sure that people understand that, sex trafficking, human trafficking is alive and well. I live in the Georgia area, and we're a major hub here, and I've actually worked for a volunteer rather for an organization that helps people survive and get out of situations like this. So tell me about and how desperate one would have to be able to survive the way that you did.
Yes, thank you for that question. I mean, absolutely. I feel like that was the thing that I wanted to tap into the most. Going into this, I don't personally watch a lot of horror movies or true crime, and I don't know anyone who's personally been affected by human trafficking or by being abducted or anything like that. So it was all very new to me. So I really had to do a lot of thought work on what would genuinely being in this situation be like. So, some nights when I went to bed, just going over the lines, it's not just the lines you have to have for a role like this. You really have to kind of visualize being there, which is scary, but I wanted to push myself to those places so that I could understand the stakes, and so that the need to survive would always be kind of underlying throughout every single scene. Because I do feel like she goes through a lot of different emotions in this over the course of the film, but the one constant is that desperation. So finding that and making sure that that was at the core of every single scene was, integral for sure.
Awesome. You did an amazing job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Our next question is Malik Pollard. Malik Pollard.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Well, my question is this. So in the real life story, we know that the use of GPS was how they were able to locate the guys. And so I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that GPS or some type of tracking should be mandatory in cars, or is that an invasion of privacy to have something like that technology? And I wanted to just get you guys feeling on that.
That's a good question. Oh, should it be mandatory? My initial thought is no, because that is an invasion of privacy. However, there's Big Brother everywhere. If you go out and walk the streets, there are cameras everywhere. There are cameras that are connected globally that law enforcement can tap into. So they know how to find you. Actually, nowadays, facial recognition, all of the street cams, they're all connected. So I don't know if it should be mandatory, because obviously there are so many other ways that they can find you.
Okay.
That's true.
Anybody else have any thoughts on it?
Well, I guess, sorry, just to piggyback on that, I feel like it should be a preference of choice. If you want that as a safety net for you and your family, I think, you should be able to have that if you want to protect yourself as well. I know down here in Toronto, there's been a lot of car thefts happening in the cities. So I know I know that they're trying to come up with some solutions to see if that's if they want to mandate that. But like on what Kenya was saying, I feel like there's already a lot that they have with cameras all over the place, so but I feel like for your preference, it's just for your own safety and your own headache. I feel like if you want to do it, why not? For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a tough question. I was thinking about it because I was like, I mean, phones, we all buy phones and we can technically all be tracked on those as well. So I could definitely see it being a thing that could be implemented in the car system, but I also know that license plates can be tracked. So maybe if there was just like maybe more a stronger rule against like having a license plate, because I guess some people don't sometimes, and then it's easy to get away with it. So maybe if that was like really mandatory and really enforced, I don't know. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Makes you think.
Well, thank you guys. Awesome film. Congratulations to you all. And like you said, there are car thefts are rising all over the country. So hopefully there's a way to be safe just in our space and moving around, and more humanity.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Diva Files magazine.
All right. Good morning, everyone. To Sam, Kenya, and Riele. Thank you all for sharing your time with us today. My question is for Riele. So we've already kind of talked about how over the years we've heard the stories of Black women going missing and the questionable news coverage that we've seen. So for you as a Black woman, why do you believe that it is so important to illuminate this story in particular in 2024?
That's a good question. I feel like it's always been important, but I feel like now specifically is a time where people actually are willing to listen to stories like this. So pushing it when everyone's ears are open, when people's eyes want to see projects like this is so important to get out there, because this has always been the case. But sorry, I just heard myself in feedback, threw me off a bit, but it's there's just such a large disparity between how many Black people there are in America and the fact that we make up half of who goes missing, and then on top of that, not having the proper news coverage. It's just something that makes me think about my friends and my family and how dangerous that is, and it's something that I haven't even been thinking about too seriously. So just as much as we can educate people out there on, and Carlisha's story, she escaped as well, which is something that does not happen very often. So specifically getting a story out there where people can actually learn from her experience and maybe take note on what to do if they're ever in a situation like that can absolutely help.
Thank you. Congratulations, you all, on the film. And once again, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Sean Prime. Sean?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? This
Hello.
question. Hi, Sean Prime from Roku SFN TV. Question is for Riele. Riele, kind of know you from lighter projects. Most of the projects before were lighter. This particular project has some weight. You did a very excellent job on it, by the way. What's the one thing that you want people to take away from your performance?
That's a good question. I mean, kind of harping on my last answer, I hope that people can just learn from it, because a big reason why I took this and I wanted to do a role like this, like, of course, there are the career reasons of, oh yeah, I want to push myself and I want to do something that's a little bit more intense, but on the larger scale, just knowing the impact this could have for other people and what they can take away and apply to their own lives, what I have taken away and applied to my life, and now going outside and being more aware. If that can even just like save one person from getting into a situation like this, then like that's what I aim to do. So I hope they just take away any sort of lesson that they can apply moving into their own life.
Thank you. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Next question is from Streets 99.3.
How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. How you guys doing? My name is Brooklyn from Nashville, Tennessee, Streets 993. And so my question is for Kenya. So the kidnapper says to Carlisha, "Why were you by yourself? Only vile women do that." And with you being a strong Black woman who prides herself in independence and women empowerment, can you speak to that assumption and also ways that women can go about changing the narrative of needing an authoritative figure to be with them for society to feel like women are protected? And I would also like to hear from Riele's point of view as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for your question. I'm going to try to unpack it a little bit. So the first part of your question is the assumption that a Black woman being alone at night is vile, like she's a loose woman or something like that. I think that's in Sam's mind. I don't think that's the perception of everyone. But if someone does think that, it's out of ignorance. I think that if you're coming home from the gym or coming home from work, or you're walking, as many people do that live in Philadelphia or New York, I think you have a reason to be out at night. And even if you don't, if you want to go to a bar, if you want to live your life, I don't think that if you're out at night automatically should mean that you're a loose woman or up to no good or vile, as Sam's character says. So that's that. I don't think that needing a male figure should necessarily equate to having protection. I think that number one, knowledge is protection. Again, we talked about this earlier, is being just situationally aware. For myself, I've taken the necessary steps to always protect myself, not only just being aware of my surroundings, but also being smart about how I move. Even to the point where if I go on vacation, I don't post in real time because I don't want people to know that I'm not home. It's things like I have had self-defense training. I do teach my child how to survive, how to think, how to remain calm in situations that may be dangerous for her. So I think, again, to me, that all kind of points down to knowledge, being aware of yourself and where you are, situational awareness. Again, I can't say that enough. And owning who you are. I mean, when I walk down the street, I'm not like, tiptoeing down the street.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know, I'm not the one. Don't mess with me today, Yeah. I got my hand likely, I carry as well. In Georgia is very easy to, you can carry without a license now. So for me, I've always found it necessary to own guns. I've had to pull a gun before. People, if you search back about 5 years ago, someone came to my house. Fans ended up being fans, I think. But they trespassed, and so I had to let them know that not today, Satan. You don't just walk up on people in their homes and knock on the door, crawl over, climb over fences and things like that just because you're a fan of someone. I don't know who you are, so for me, I'm always, again, I'm on guard, always. And I think that, again, the education that I have about self-defense helps me in those situations. And I hope that it could help other people watching this movie as well. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, you did.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic answer. I guess to agree with that, and also the first part, I think that there's, it being in Sam's character's mind is definitely accurate. I think there's a deeper misogyny issue that the world and that America has, and also, the hypersexualization of like young Black women or Black women in general is definitely a thing that we still have to work to unpack. In terms of the second part, yeah, just staying cognizant of your surroundings, whether it be having someone there, like I'm a big advocate of just taking any small precautions. So, whether it be crossing out my address before I throw something out, or just like carrying mace as I go outside, go on a walk, I always try to walk with my sister or with just having somebody there. And I think not being afraid to offend people, like that's a big thing for me. I am very conscious of like staying respectful. So sometimes that can get in the way of staying safe. Like if you feel like someone it could be following you, or you just feel like there's someone sketchy around, you can't really worry about their feelings at that point. You have to put yourself first and make the decisions that are necessary. Like it doesn't matter if, oh, that person was not trying to do anything. Just take whatever measure you can, and that's something that I've had to learn. It's like it can't be about them in this situation. I gotta go, or I gotta confront them, or I gotta, something. So yeah, just making sure you always put yourself first.
That's an excellent point.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys and thank you. And great movie, great acting. Love you guys.
Thank you. I think it was so key not to be afraid to offend someone.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother used to say, I don't know you from a can of paint. I know you. I don't know what you're capable of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
that's true.
yeah, I'm going to assume the worst, and you can pleasantly surprise me with something else, and I'll be alive to talk.
That's such a good way to put it. That's such a good way to put it.
Absolutely.
All right, next question is from G Hollow.
Good afternoon. How you all doing? Sorry about that.
Good. How are you?
Hello there.
I was to the cast and also to highlight Kenya more because you spoke about your daughter earlier. Do you think it's important and imperative as us as a community to push towards legislation on our lawmakers and our Congress people to ensure that there is greater education out there and awareness where we can really learn from this, what's going on with us as a community globally as well as locally? So do you think we need to really lean on our politicians to help them enforce more legislation, more education, and things of that nature?
Well, legislation, for sure, it depends. We need to be protected. It's little things for me, being in the public eye as long as I have been in the public eye. There's certain rights that you think you have that you don't. For instance, I had a drone fly over my house, and people were, obviously the operator was taking video of my home. And old legislation, I don't even know if it's current. I'm not sure where, in certain states has that changed, but that's legal in certain states because of the way the laws are written. So I think that modern technology has made it where old legislation needs to catch up, especially when it comes to privacy, because that also speaks to security. And obviously, if someone can tap into your Ring camera phones at home, or if they can fly drones and go into your windows and things like that, that obviously speaks to safety. So if it is legislation that addresses those specific issues and others that I may not be speaking about right now, I would say absolutely yes. In terms of education, I think that your parents and everyone around you, your village, should continually be educating you. Now I think, I used to hate social media. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. But I think what I love about it now is that you see so many videos about the abduction of these young girls and how to avoid capture. You see that if you see someone that used to be harmless putting flyers on your car, you can't touch that now. If someone throws an egg on your windshield, you can't put your wipers on or pull over. So what I like about it is that is a part of now social media and current day education. But we can't always just rely on TikTok, but that is one form. But we need to rely on our village and our people, and we need to just help each other and continually, I'm always sending videos, I'm always reposting things that I see in an effort to help educate women about safety.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One last thing. Could you tell me the right contact information to contact you? We want to bring you here to Augusta, Georgia. Right now I'm at the location in Augusta Mall. So I just need your contact information to reach out to you to book you to come down.
Hey, brother, you can offline with me, okay? This is Vaughn.
Okay, thank you.
Our next question comes from Janelle Witt, Upscale. Janelle, you still with us? All right. Okay. Our next question. Okay. There you go.
I'm like the old lady now with the social media with clicking the buttons. Where am I?
We hear you, Janelle. Go ahead.
So I love the subliminal messages that Lifetime use, like the subliminal messages telling us as African Americans, probably the whole world, but it spoke to me as far as when Riele dropped her glasses on the ground and her cell phone. And then Kenya, how you kept saying, you're not gonna find my daughter, like you were emphasizing, that made him want to find her more. And then the statement that you also made that, okay, we need to do what we do as groups to speak louder and just taking the initiative instead of just sitting at home waiting for things to happen. Sam, I'm so glad you were not in the theater yesterday because I know I would have been throwing my popcorn at you.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But I felt like you had an accent. That's so funny when you were talking, but you did an amazing job. How hard was it, Sam, to concentrate on not only your role that you had, but then you had to suppress and have this, this straight American accent, and then, still be who you were. Because you guys did so good. The chemistry between everyone. Kenya's chemistry, she's a natural born actress, okay? But still, I know she had to prepare. So how was it for you, Sam, to jump into character and have all these things on your mind and still deliver your lines?
Yeah, it definitely was a process. Again, Riele, having that trust with her to play and work off her. We always talked about, each scene that we were about to do, even the ones that felt very uncomfortable, because there were many times where we were doing, a few scenes where I felt very uncomfortable. But just having that communication, that open dialogue, and knowing that this is a story. At the end of the day, this is actually what happened, to this poor girl, and it's bigger than me. So staying focused to in the moment, staying focused on why I'm doing this, and and trying to just do the best I can in that moment, right? Because it was hard. Every day was just like trying to get, because every single day I was trying to get riled up, and doing that all day is very hard. It's draining on your mind, your body, because it's like you see him through the whole movie. He's always tense, and that's like very unnatural for me, So it was hard, and just staying committed and trusting that I did the work was something that helped me. So I'm glad how it came out.
Well, I hope the writer's strike paid off for everybody because you guys put your foot in your work, and I am very proud of the entire cast. And Kenya, as the leading actress, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Thank
so
you. That
much.
means a lot to me. That means a lot to
The
me.
character. I did not see Kenya more. So
Thank you.
thank
That
you,
was
guys.
the goal. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Hype Magazine.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
I think you're a little muffled.
Can you hear me? Yeah, the connection is kind of bad. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you know what, Ray? We'll come back to you, Ray. Okay, it's just too bad.
Oh,
Okay, our next question is going to come from Interrupted Blogs. Okay. Our next question will come from.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we hear you now. Mhm.
Okay. My question is for Riley.
Oh, it's pronounced right.
Rayleigh. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Riele, but it's okay.
Riele. I'm sorry.
No
How
worries.
did you, given the fact that, you know, nobody thinks this can happen to them until it does, how did this make you empathize with your character or plan for the role?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was probably the most important part of preparing for it and planning for it. I mean, although my mom, of course, has like prepared me, and when I was younger, you know, and we'd done some self-defense training, it was still something that I still hadn't considered, like on a very real level, could happen to me. So I think because this was the first time that I really had to consider that as a possibility and do thought experiments of like, wow, this really happened to somebody, of course, it being a true story, and how would I feel in this situation, and having to physically go through the motions of like, you know, doing the abduction scene and doing, of course, there's scenes, but when you're in it, like it can feel very real. And so, you know, I feel like it being the first time that I had to think about all those things on a serious level probably brought me to a more real place with it, because I was so jarred by the thought that this could happen, and the realization of that I could be in that situation, or someone I'm close to could be in that situation. I feel like it helped me connect, because it was also new for Carlisha, you know, it's not like she expected it either. So I feel like she might have also been feeling the same sense of shock and surprise that maybe I or someone else would feel. So yeah, it was very helpful to tap into that.
Well, you did an amazing job, and thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you so much.
Our next question comes from Remy TV.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hi.
So my question is for Kenya Moore. Your character goes through a lot of emotional experiences. Can you tell us and elaborate your approach to capturing Keisha's emotions? And were there any scenes that left a lasting impression on you?
Ooh. I'll start with the latter question first. Lasting impression, I think when my character walked into the police station and noticed the wall of the missing girls, I just had I have chills thinking about it right now. I actually literally just got chills thinking about it right now. Just seeing all of those faces and knowing that there were, you know, thousands more that were not on that board, and knowing that they had never been found or hadn't been found at that time and will likely never be found. As a mother, that just made it just gut wrenched me, you know what I mean? It was just truly disturbing, and it made me quite emotional. And I remember during that scene, I know Sam and Riele weren't there, but during that scene, and when I had to speak to the detectives, I think they ended up editing in I did it so many different times and ways, but I remember tearing up the police station in one of the takes. Like I just tore it up because I was so angry. I think that's a good word. I was so angry that nothing was being done. And that made me angry, not only for myself, just knowing that this is a real life case, you know, this actually happened and this is still occurring today. And it just made me angry. And I remember one of the takes, I literally tore up the police station set, and I needed a break because it was very gut-wrenching for me. The first part of your question, I'm sorry, you said about, can you repeat the first part again? I'm sorry.
Yes. How does your character, well, your character goes through a lot of emotion. Like, how did you get into that emotion?
You know, I said this earlier, I didn't want to draw on my daughter because that's a scary place for me. So for me, I've had a lot of pain in my life, to be quite honest. I've had issues with my own mother, and I know that the character of Keisha and Carlisha had tension. That wasn't really explored a lot in this film, but I made up my own backstory of what that tension could have been from when you're doing character development. So it put me in the mind frame of, no matter what happens to my daughter, she is my daughter, regardless if we had tensions or we weren't as close as we normally would be in that moment. I would kill I would kill anyone that would come between me and my daughter. And I would gladly trade my life for hers. And that's just some of the work that I did to prepare myself. So getting that call and knowing that Keisha wouldn't stop. You know, Keisha was very strong. She was very reserved. She was going to get her daughter back no matter what. And that was just some of the prep that I went through.
Thank you so much, Kenya. And the movie did have high emotion. It had sadness, it had anger, but everybody in the world needed to know this message. So thank you and thank the whole cast for putting the message out there.
Yeah, thank you for that. We received.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from KYOK Radio. Lady K.
Good morning. Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Lady K with KYOK Radio Houston. My question is directed at Kenya. It's for Kenya. And I heard you speaking about your daughter and being a mother. But coming from the other shows that you've been on, you've been plugged as the villain, as some would say. But now coming from such a soft space of motherhood and now your divorce being finalized, what does this new Kenya feel like? What's the layered Kenya? Because this is a different type of role. And it was a beautifully told story that I believe. So can you just tell us what's the layered Kenya? What you want the world to know now?
That's an interesting question. What do I want the world to know now? I mean, listen, before, I think you mentioned about other roles on TV before, you know, there's Housewives, right? So Housewives is a reality show that is highly dependent on editing and scenarios that they make into storylines, right? I think the difference is with a scripted show, you are an actress, you are portraying a character. So they're two totally different scenarios. I started off as an actress. I have been in this business for over 30 years. So it's not new to me. It's not new to me to delve into characters and be someone else.
Right.
The difference is being on a reality show, you get unfairly portrayed because the words are not an act. You're not playing an actress or a character. You are presenting yourself. And so it's just a difference. So to ask the question, what do I want people to know about me now? I don't think that it's ever changed what I want people to know about me. I think who I am is who I've always been. And I don't think that there's a difference between whether I'm on a reality TV show or a scripted show. I'm still who I am. Whether or not I'm fairly portrayed or not, that's a whole different conversation. But yes, I am a mom now, and so that is a softer place. It's a safer place for me because it's a role that I've always wanted to be cast in, if you want to say. And I think that my passion for wanting to be the best person that I can be for my child is what I would like to lead with in this world. Knowing that the product of who my child is speaks a lot about me. And I'll just leave it at that. I think she's absolutely divinely perfect. And I just hope to continue to be the best person and mother for her and example for her.
I totally get that. I love that. Thank you so much. Congratulations to everybody. And like the other young lady said, that the movie did have highs and lows. It was amazing. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next question comes from the media press.
Hello there. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
My question is for the icon, Miss Kenya Moore Hair Care. If you only know how much that lives rent free in my head. So I wanted to ask you, what advice after taking this role, what advice do you have for mothers everywhere that are trying to get their Carlisha home and are maybe losing faith or hope?
Oh, never give up. That's easy. Never give up. Never give up. Carlisha's mom, Keisha, was very strong. And I wanted to show that it was a conscious choice to not be broken down in every scene. I wanted to show her strength. I wanted to show that she was in control of her emotion, and she was thoughtful in her approach. And I feel like mothers have this strength that I don't think that anyone, I mean, yes, I love fathers, of course, but I think mothers have this inner strength when it comes to their children that they're just equipped to be able to navigate any situation. So my advice would be, when it comes to their child, my advice would be to never give up, and involve everyone, your community, your community, the press. Make a lot of noise. Like Keisha's character said, people like us get found when we get loud. And I just say, be loud and never stop.
I love that. I love that. Well, an amazing movie. And again, cheers to Miss Kenya Moore staying booked and busy.
Well, we all here are going to be booked and busy because when I tell you everyone in this film, I have so much respect for.
Yes.
And shout out to Riele and Sam, who I was so impressed by. Absolute professionals on set, good people. It was the right, like someone said earlier, the chemistry. It was great chemistry. And although we didn't see each other a lot of the time because, when you're doing a movie quickly, you're on set, you get in that chair, hair and makeup, and then you're on set, an hour later, and it's moving very quickly. But the time that I did spend with Riele and Sam and the other cast members, it was great chemistry. And the director was wonderful. Lifetime was wonderful to us. It was, I love everything about this film, from what you can see and, in front of the lens and behind the lens. And I think that everyone is going to be booked and busy from this film.
Yes. I think you guys did a fantastic job, and this is going to create a lot of conversations that need to be had.
Good. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our next question comes from Renata Brown.
Hello, everyone. This question could be answered by anyone. Amazing movie, very dramatic, very well acted. Did you, as a cast, get a chance to talk to the real Carlisha or someone that has been in that situation? And if you didn't, would you, moving forward, seek an opportunity to talk to people or families that are currently in the situation or have been through the situation?
I guess I'll start off by saying we did not get to speak with the family, and I didn't get to speak to Carlisha personally, but I know she was very heavily involved with the process, and was working alongside with our director and Katie and some of the producers. So I kind of referred to them with my questions and everything because, of course, it's still very recent for her and it's still a very sensitive topic, and I would totally understand why she wouldn't want to be on set for this or having these conversations. But yeah, I found it to be very helpful that she was very involved in it, and this was very much so her story. And having those conversations with the director definitely helped me get there. Other work that I did personally was just reading through articles and anything I could find on someone who's been in this experience and the situation and what they had to say about it and what their story was, because I don't know anyone personally who has been abducted or in an experience like this. So yeah, referring to just reading up on things, looking at videos, any research I could do personally was what I mostly did.
Well,
I have,
awesome. You
I have a
did.
question for Sam. I'm raising my hand, Vaughn.
Yeah.
Sam, did you
Hey.
ever kind of piggybacking off of the other journalist question or writer's question, did you ever think to contact the real abductor? I know he's in prison, but did you ever think to try to write to him or to go and see him or anything like that?
You know what? That never even came across my mind. I just always wondered, like, because I just know, like, watching like the documentaries, like how cold he was, you know. So I don't know. I didn't even in my mind just thinking like wanted to contact him because I didn't want to actually. You know, it's something in me just didn't even want to. You know, it was just like whatever it is, I just wanted to show to even like think of contacting him. You know, because of what he did. Because to me myself, I felt it was just such a heinous crime. You know, of like what he did, and myself was just even ashamed of like even going that route. You know, so yeah, I didn't, but I guess I just looking through documentaries and interviews of like how cold he was. I guess I just wanted to embody that the whole time and just you know go in there having an idea of who this person could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I still don't. Yeah, yeah, and like the only thing I could think of probably just like if I were to like talk to him or I would just I don't even know. I don't even know what I would say. I would just like, I hope you learned your lesson, you know, and I hope that you're still in communication with your daughter because he lost his daughter. You know, he doesn't have that chance of seeing her. You know, so and that's sad. You know, because I can't even think of being away from my daughter. You know, or
Same.
doing something like this. You know, so yeah. So I hope he's still still in contact with her and still having conversations with her, and he's sorry for what he's done. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that. Appreciate it.
Just a couple more questions here. Our next question will be from Melissa Stewart.
Hey guys, I was wondering, after this experience, would you guys ever want to participate in volunteering to help victims who are missing or victims who have been abducted and sexually assaulted in any kind in a way like what was potentially going to happen to Carlisha? Would you guys ever consider that?
Absolutely. I feel like this totally opened my eyes up to all of this because as I said before, like I generally just watch things that aren't too intense. I'm scared very easily. So, which was kind of helpful for this role, I guess. But so yeah, this really just opened my eyes up to like this entire world. And obviously since I got to portray it and do the work of what that would actually be like, I truly can't imagine. So anything I could do to help, I will. And I'm intending on like looking into things like that because it's just such an important issue that is somehow still very overlooked.
Yeah, definitely the same thing for me as well. If I can get involved with any organizations, just to, you know, put more awareness out there for sure. As being a father, two kids, I definitely, you know, this is definitely very important, you know, for everyone to know, and just keep an eye out. So if there's anything I could get into, for sure, we'll look into it.
That's awesome because there aren't as many men who care as much as women do.
Oh no, absolutely, and this definitely opened up my eyes as well too, because you know, just having friends as well too, where the, you know, like female friends who tell me that, you know, someone's following them and stuff like that, and they could be aware of that, right? It's like it's just shocking to hear that how often this happens, you know, on like every single day, you know. So, and I know just like it sucks that women like go through this on a day-to-day basis, right? So if there's anything, you know, that I could do to, you know, bring more awareness out there, and I feel like this movie does a great job of doing that, I definitely would love to, you know, do more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Same, and I'll just say this, you know, I'm very big on in giving back. I think this film has touched each and every one of us in a profound way. And I think that we can't just walk away. We have to continue to do the work and to advocate for the victims and for awareness. I think that goes beyond, you know, goes without saying, for sure.
You mentioned something really quickly a little bit earlier about making sure that you've got the air tags on vehicles. About a year ago, my iPhone detected an air tag on my vehicle, so I had to following that, know what that. But I called someone. They told me to go to the police department instead of going home, and they were actually able to check my vehicle. There wasn't anything there. I think it was just probably a vehicle that might have been behind me at the time, but have you guys ever experienced that at all? I mean, being in positions of prominence, you guys may experience things like that. Have you guys ever experienced a stalker or someone who presented? And we know about the people that showed up at your house, but outside of that, anyone who presented, you know, a threat, and how'd you handle that?
Fortunately for us, no, but again, I've had so much training in just being aware of my surroundings, security. Some people might even think I'm kind of Looney Tune when it comes to that, because I'm like, you know, why did you park there? You know, why didn't you park, you know, at the end of the parking lot where it's well lit and you can walk straight to the door? Why would you choose? You know, I'm very much aware of everything around me, even to the point where I've had training when it comes to security from security experts. I've had them walk my home. I've had them tell me where I'm vulnerable. So many things. There are resources out there if you need them, but you know, I hired a whole security expert. Even when it comes down to online safety, putting things on your computer that prevent people from tracking you or getting your information. I blocked out my home on Google Maps. Like it's a lot of things you can do. You can't do everything because this is the age of technology, but you need to be educated. You need to have the information that you need to just make sure that you are protected, especially because we are all people, actresses and people that are known. So you need to go that extra mile to protect yourself and your family.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is from Red Carpet Fly.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm Alexi from Red Carpet Fly. I want to congratulate everyone on the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. This is open for the whole cast. With movies like yours and the establishment of the Ebony Alert here in California, how does it feel to be a part of the larger conversation and discussion of missing Black women?
I can start off by just saying it feels very rewarding and important. You know, I feel like a big reason, like I don't personally enjoy social media that much, just like for myself as a leisureful activity, but to know that that I have an impact and that there are these people that have these eyes on me, it's important for me to use it for something good whenever I can. So being a part of this, like that was the biggest point for me, I guess, is knowing that I would get to, that anyone who's a fan of me would watch this hopefully and take something away from it. So that's what I always aim to do is just if I can use my audience for good and to spread light on, especially an issue like this, that just many people are not talking about it. And being a Black female, I feel like it's my duty as a sense to like have these discussions and to shed light on it when no one else will. So I'm just so appreciative that I got to be a part of it with these other wonderful people as well.
Our next question comes from So Unique Magazine.
Hi, how are you guys today?
Good, how are you?
Good, how
I'm
are
good,
you?
thank you. I'm good, thank you. So this movie is every mother and family's worst nightmare. Starting with Kenya, what was your initial response when you were presented with this project?
Oh,
Like
wow.
you guys will be bringing this
Yeah.
nightmare back to life.
Well, my initial response, I think I spoke about this at our screening last night, is when I first received the script and I started to read it, I think I put it down. Like I said, yeah, I can't do this. It's just, it just kind of stirs up that fear in you as a mother because you imagine the worst happening to your child, like every time they walk out the door. As a mom, you just have that, well, I have that anxiety a lot. So when I read the script and I understood what the material was, I thought, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't put myself out there and be so vulnerable. But I think I had to ask myself, why should I do this film? And the why was that I would be creating awareness for such an amazing cause and to potentially help save other Black girls out there and to help mothers bring their girls home. So when I started asking myself the questions of why should I, then the answer was pretty clear that I should do the project.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sam, do you want to take it as well?
Yeah, sure. Just like how I mentioned before, when I got the breakdown, it was just something that I don't usually do. It was something I really had to really think hard about. Just putting myself out there and playing this character. But I knew this was an important story. I found the story very fascinating, and I definitely knew that the story needed to be told and to be told correctly and to bring awareness and keep people informed and aware and know that and like showing people that this could happen to anyone, really anyone. Anyone could be affected by this. Any family could be affected by this. I'm sure Carlisha's family didn't know this could ever happen to them, and it did. So the importance of that and knowing that this really could happen to anyone. And so I guess that's what made me wanted to do it and tell the story. And I'm just so honored to be a part of the cast here because they did such a great, amazing job. And they brought the best out of me. I can say that for sure.
Thank you.
And Gospel Spotlight? HJ?
Yes, thank you. My guest is for the ladies, Kenya and Riele. And what I would like to say is, how do you come down from doing a role like this? What do you do to relax?
I can take this one. I think we spoke about this last night, Riele.
Yeah.
It takes a while. I mean, obviously, it's emotionally draining when you do a role like this. It drains on you. I can't describe that feeling of having to be in a space where you feel all of the emotions that run through your brain or your body when you are faced with a situation like this. But I think what I focused on is the happy. You know, I have my daughter with me in Toronto. Is, you know, she's like my American Express car. I never leave home without her. So when I would come home, I would just, before I walked in the door, before I had to pick her up from school, I, you know, decompressed in the car, you know, happy music, you know, just trying to refocus my, you know, my feelings. So of course, seeing her and knowing that she was safe and she always makes me laugh and we have great conversations and we were able to go and sightsee and do some things, you know, on my days off. So that's what definitely helped me to come down and to just, you know, change my emotional state.
When you got the role, did you think it would be as challenging as it was?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the script was amazing and it everything jumped off the page and it's a true life story. So yes, I knew what I was getting myself into for sure and what it was going to require of me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I will add yeah, I guess a similar thing to you, Kenya, with my mother, just being able to like, you know, go eat, listen. I'm always listening to music, so that was helpful. But for the shooting, I did kind of want to stay in it. I know that afterwards, I think I went on a trip with like I had a trip planned with my friends, so I feel like going to a new location was very helpful to kind of just get into a new energy and space and see different people. But something I'm definitely grateful for is that I get to shake it off because that's something I was thinking about too, is like wow, after an experience like that of portraying that, I get to just, you know, travel, leave it behind, be like, okay, anyway, back to my life, you know, but when this does actually happen to people, they don't get the same luxury. So I guess that made me even more grateful in return to know like, wow, this is something that doesn't have to follow me, but the real Carlisha obviously still this experience is weighs heavy on her to this day. So yeah, very grateful overall that I got to tell this story.
Thank you, ladies. You guys did a great job, and continue to be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Crystal Jordan, did you want to ask a question before we conclude? Crystal. Okay. All right. Well, I think this will conclude our panel for today.
Excuse me. Excuse me, please.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Please say something. How I really appreciate because
Oh wait, I think you keep going on mute for some reason.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, start your question.
Thank you for inviting me. This is really personal to me. Tomorrow makes a year that my niece has been missing. And
Oh
my God.
how ironic that this is happening and this movie came out. This is like, I'm really so nervous right now, excuse me, but
oh, you're fine. You're fine. You are fine.
what can we do to try to, you know, bring more attention, because the police is really not doing anything. She came up missing in Denver last year. Tomorrow it will be a year. And we are just really lost for ways to try to bring attention and try to get her found. She would not go missing on her own. She has 2 children, and this has really been hard on our family. And if I could show you a picture of her, this is her. Her name is Miranda. And we just really feel like the police is just kicking the can down the road and we can't get answers.
Mm-hmm.
And with you all doing this project, it has really like hit home again hard. But what else can we do? I've been listening to all the questions that you have been answering and taking notes, and just I still feel lost for us though.
I'm so sorry that this happened to your family. I'm so sorry that they have not found her, and I want to just say, I don't want to assume everyone here is believes in God, but I want to just say I'll pray for your family and for the safe return.
Me too. Me too.
Well, absolutely.
God bless you and your
Too.
family, and I just keep being positive. Just keep thinking of ways to get loud.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. That's it.
I'm so sorry. And these things are tough because like there is no clear answer of what one can do. I feel like just any way, as Kenya was saying, to get loud and to just get people to pay attention, whether that be perhaps even especially if the cops aren't doing much, like printing out your own flyers and just asking around, and I don't know, just any way that you can spread word and get people noticing this, that it's such a tough situation, and I will absolutely be praying for you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, it's Trami from Lifetime. We're happy to offline with you, and we have some resources that we would love to share with you. And thank you for sharing with us today.
And I also want to say, thank you for Lifetime for creating these Black girl missing stories. It's unique to the network. No one else is doing anything like this. And I just applaud you and thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to be a part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And as we conclude today's panel, viewers I put in the chat for everyone, viewers can go to blackandmissinginc.com or call 1-877-97-BAMFI, which is 972-2634, and that is in the chat. And of course, our agency is here alongside Lifetime to offer support and resources, so feel free to reach out to us direct. Again, Abducted Off the Street will premiere Saturday, February 10th at 8/7 Central on Lifetime. Okay?
All right.
Thank you so much, Cass.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Meet everyone.
See you.